Hello everyone, GameGoddessFee here. Alright, I am back tonight with Ace Attorney. Hope you all are having a wonderful Friday. I have my boy. What's up, Game Queen 81? How's it going tonight? How you doing tonight? Alright, so I guess we're gonna do this trial tonight. So I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching. And where Yeety? All right, you ready, Plum?
Nope.
You ain't ready. He got to speak that other language. How you gonna get through to your client?
What? Trucy, what did he say?
I'm good. This dude gonna be talking like the Animal Crossing or Teletubbies.
Trucy, I think he said he needed a glass of water.
All right, we got Apollo Justice. I say Justice, Lord.
Apollo
Justice. Ace Attorney. Is this a dual? Nah, this ain't dual Ace Destinies. I'm looking at the next game. They got them. I guess side by side at the top.
We can't play that one. Let's play
no,
that
thank you. Episode 3. Turnabout Serenade Trial Day 1. Y'all ready? Where Yeety? Let's go. Wow, I'm already on the game. Y'all here? June 19th. Hold on. Oh, goodness. Hold on, y'all. I forgot to do this.
She forgot to do the audio. Y'all can't hear it.
All right. July 9th, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for, how do I say that?
Machi Tabaya, Your Honor. The Pixie of the Preak. I don't know what that is. Or Peggy. What?
Right, his trial court is in session.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is A-OK here, Judge.
Very well. Prosecutor Gavin?
My opening statement, yeah.
I was just wondering. I said, how is he so cool with them and they put his brother in jail?
You see.
Okay. No, actually, that was something else I wanted to ask you about.
Yes.
Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them? What?
Yeah?
I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down.
What are you talking about?
Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son.
The Chief Justice?
His son is afflicted with a most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day. Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending?
She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for?
This judge. Anyway, in any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly. You can't put your own personal business with the trial and stuff,
This is actually a clue for later, too, by the way.
Oh, my goodness.
You're in luck here, Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to reveal the victim in this case. Romain Latius, age 35.
You're just 35.
You just 35.
Anyway.
The global manager for Diva Songstress Le Mirror. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details.
They didn't try to stop the bleeding.
No, you're just like, you'll be okay. Help me, boy.
The court accepts this into evidence. Latusis' autopsy report added to the court record. Death due to loss of blood from a gunshot wound. Established time of death 9 o'clock through 9:30 p.m. 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet.
However, the bullet struck him in the shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse considering. Crime photo added to the court record. Victim shot in shoulder in Lemura's room.
2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit.
I see the court accept this into evidence. Diagram added to the court record. The crime scene was Lemura's dressing room. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really?
Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body.
The defense will take more care in choosing examples.
As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in the dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door.
That does seem to be the case, yes?
However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots.
He's talking about you and Emma, huh?
Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course.
But that's impossible.
Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person.
One person?
That is, of course, the defendant, Makai Tumbaye.
Who?
Makai.
Nah,
Makai Tumbaye.
You said Machi at first, and then you just said Maki.
Makai.
Nah.
I got Makai. Makai Tumbaye.
Which name you gonna use?
Makai.
Huh? Okay.
Makai.
Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how?
It's quite simple. The circumstances of this crime scene make it clear.
Very well, I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand. That dude can't speak English. Ah, that's Emma.
Your name and profession, please.
Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night.
Emma seems tired somehow.
I guess I'm sounding too chipper for her, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, Yeety? What up? Y'all tell Serenade I broke out of jail today. All right, Beagle Boy, look. He the Beagle Boy. What's up, Granddaddy Ataku? Is that my wife, Emma? And they got her on the stand today. Security at the concert, you say? So security I couldn't even stop a murder. Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know?
I'm sure that makes her feel much better.
I want to hear about these bigger mistakes.
In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please.
All right. She seems a little hot. She should take off that jacket. She always got that jacket on, even when she was in that other case. Murderous circumstances. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it.
She thinks she's Sherlock.
It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene. That door was the only way out of the room, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Then I don't get it. How can they say that Makai did it?
Looks like we need a bit more information.
I guess they saying he went through that ladder, went up that ladder.
Nope, he teleported.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination. If I were a criminal, I would want Emma to speak at my court case. Hey, she on the prosecution's side today, is she?
Yep.
Cross-examination, murderous circumstances. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request.
Hold it! The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes?
That's right.
What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert.
My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. And whatever she said, I'd say she's absolutely right, Your Honor.
So he killed him.
Always right,
he stabbed him 25 times. She's right, Your Honor. I did do that. Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day. You might say the stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. Conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys! That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined.
Shouldn't they be having somebody else prosecute their case and stuff?
Yeah, he was killed at your concert. You want to prosecute it? And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hawk to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case.
There he goes again.
Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced him? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hands on their own.
What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hands, that makes you a prime suspect. If the band at the concert was the Grateful Dead, does that mean the victim died with gratitude?
Woof.
Say, hey,
slow acting and new, what is that? Atroquinine is waiting for you.
He's sick of something.
Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task.
I see it. I can't even talk.
I see.
I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean? What's she say?
Most time in your hands.
Most time in your hands. Please, the testimony. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage.
Hold it! We were let in, though.
I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you.
I gave the Fallen special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again.
Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now.
Gee, great.
Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off.
So no other outsiders were there then?
And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots.
I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots.
You were the one chatting. I was eating snackles. Ah, hey, no snacking in the court.
And you're sure the shots came from Lemuro's room? Yes, absolutely.
See? Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet.
Ah, thanks. So, how about it, Emma?
We were right. There. Hard to be mistaken about that. Please enter talk. I said enter. Please either talk or eat, not both at the same time. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door.
These people need some milk. They should not be in this courtroom.
I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body.
Rock?
Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring to perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days?
That's right. We went to the dressing room. Music was blaring over the speaker on the wall.
They pipe sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage.
Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to the Gavners with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. We always have the backstage monitors at full volume.
When we walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing.
Then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself.
Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it.
How could you know something like that?
As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. Oh.
But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly...
You're not paying attention to the case. To Emma. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. What Pearl said. Where Pearl?
She did it! I knew it! I knew it! She did it! She did it!
Pearl said.
A child?
Remember, access to those rooms were limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed.
And if all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child.
What about what's her face?
Juicy?
Juicy. The defendant?
The pixie of the Aprigo flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. Objection! But that's just conjecture! Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know it, forehead.
And there is another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had recently been opened.
Wait, what?
And something else was found quite clearly. The defendant, Mackay, Tobias, what do you say?
What?
It was his fingerprints. Order, order, order.
Remember, you have the Y button. That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Air Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you?
Uh-oh.
Only one can pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our Pixie.
Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
So this was his decisive evidence.
Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive.
Ugh!
I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict. Even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit.
I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Ugh! It can't be over already!
Very well, I believe this trial is finished, but the defense has no contradicting evidence.
The prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clear and plain.
Hey, Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. We better come up with something quick.
I know! Think, what can get us out of this? We need evidence, or a witness that can prove Makai is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that... Ugh.
Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you better tell us about it now.
This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof. Like the witness to me. Yo, man, if you spend 4 years in college and get a science degree,
Emma's on the prosecution side. Show evidence. Call a witness. I don't have proof.
I don't got proof.
Well,
lock him up. I don't even know how to.
They said, well, he know what that man said. Ask the witness.
Call a witness.
Siren.
Who?
Siren.
Who is Siren?
Siren, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Siren.
Why didn't you say Siren? It's Siren.
How you know it's not Siren?
No, that's not anything. Siren, no.
Is it call a witness?
Call a witness. Prosecutor Gavin, you claimed there was no witnesses to the crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I promised it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, Achukunine, My Love.
There he goes again.
That's too bad, because there was a witness.
Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not?
Because I am the only one in the world who knows this! What's going on? I just talked to him, and now... He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way. Sorry.
You sound like some of our elders saying siren like that.
Serene.
The elder can't create a way.
Serene.
Anyway.
Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who's the witness? The witness is Siren.
You hear those sirens coming down the street? Let me stop. I heard some sirens. What? I said, what? The victim said this before he died?
Perhaps he did. Perhaps he did not.
Wait, he's alive? So this is a murder case. I'm confused. Emma puddled me. He was alive for a few seconds.
And then Apollo just watched him bleed out.
What do you mean by that?
All we know is that their forehead says did. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself.
Objection! But it's the truth! He said it! I even told you about it! But apparently, you ignored me completely!
It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
They looking for you again, Yeet. You better go hide, Grand Theft Auto. I should've. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof that from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty.
Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for.
Ugh! There's no backing out now!
Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
Pearl Fay!
Where is Pearl said? Lemuroar singer loaded as the siren of the ballet from the tiny country of Borginia.
Borginia!
So I guess she the witness, huh?
Take that!
Lemuroar? I don't even know how I said that. Anyway.
Recall Mr. Latusse's last words. Witnesses siren.
The siren, haha, he meant the siren.
That's right, the siren of the ballad, Lemuroar. Lemuroar was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness!
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime.
Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lemuroar to the witness stand.
Is this the same series where they call it a parrot to be a witness?
Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her, no matter what it is.
Where Polly at? Polly could have flew in here.
It's my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballet to our courtroom.
You are too kind. Ah, you can speak English? Yes, I can. Though I am not very good, there is much I do not know. You speak so well. Have you spent time here before? Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it.
Does she mean she doesn't know?
I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not.
What's up, Dave Sanfield? What's going on with you?
Well,
I had a reason, of course.
what's that?
Lemuroar suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia? Lemuroar is not my true name. Yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought.
As lauded singer Lemuroar, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success.
He said, not much. Your brother ain't here today. Ask him why. Why was you there, Yeety? He's in the chat.
Yes, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
Why does Apollo always look like he's 2 minutes from pulling a Greta and yelling, "How dare you?" I don't know. Apollo Justice, I don't know. Then when he get angry, he just look crazy. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lemurer. Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened.
Mirror, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet, that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand.
I say wide forehead. Anyway. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy.
Ugh.
Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
You gotta sing it, Mama. Sing her testimony.
No, thank you. Witness testimony. What I saw. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. You got locked up, but I broke because you broke or you a thug. Oh my goodness. Apollo is the killer and he's trying to convince the court otherwise. Yeah, bad boy, what you gonna do?
I don't like y'all.
Anyway.
I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her longer than she need be.
Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. He was on Grand Theft Auto today.
The Mirror wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what.
I can't read.
Cross-examination. What I saw. As for what I saw nothing.
But you must have seen something.
He didn't choose the thug life. The thug life chose him. Yes,
Mr.
it did.
Latouche nabbed you.
Mr. Latouche? How can I tell you what I don't know?
The Mirror! He sent you a witness with his dying words!
I did not know what he meant to say, but that night I was invited to sing on stage, and I did.
It was a great concert.
You heard me sing? Thank you.
I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually.
Of course. Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. One on my gavel would be nice.
Hey, Judge!
What's this?
It's my autograph. Now keep this trial moving.
What? Oh, my grandchild would be so happy.
Apparently his grandson is a big fan. Let us continue, shall we, if you would, Mirror. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance.
I did not return backstage after the second set.
Oh, really?
Oops. I did not return backstage after the second set.
You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing?
I was cleaning up on stage. There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing.
And what was Makai with you? And was Makai with you at the time?
Unfortunately, I do not know where he was.
So much for an alibi for Makai.
Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there.
Were Makai correct? How was he then?
He seemed as he always does, though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Latus's death. Yet he is not the type to show much emotion.
Yes, he's given to the police no. Oh my. Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with silence. And those glinting frames speak nothing. The questioning hasn't gotten very far.
He sat there waiting. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details.
How was the incident explained to you?
I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Latus died. Of course, investigations require some security, but Mr. Latus was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. But Makai and I were beside ourselves with concern.
Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you.
Yes, I understand.
Dick, what doesn't ring true about her testimony?
It's hard to imagine Lemur fibbing.
She might not be fibbing, but she's hiding something. Wouldn't one she tell me the night of the murder?
Alright, let me go through her statements. I'm just gonna look at her.
Here we go, look at her, alright?
I'm gonna look at her. I don't see her doing anything.
What did we find yesterday?
Hold on. Her brooch.
We found Von Karma's brooch. Now that is a reference to Ace Attorney 2. And who was it introduced in Ace Attorney 2? Pearl Fay. And there's only one person who could have gone through the thing with the body of a child. Pearl Fay.
This right here? On this statement? Okay.
Objection! I'm sorry, Lemiror, but I'm having trouble believing you.
Hmm?
You remember this brooch, do you not?
Why, that's Lemiror's. She was wearing it for her song.
This Pearls is not little anymore.
Oh, yeah.
How old is Pearls?
Alright,
She's
she was
still
9.
probably what, a preteen
She was
now?
9 and 7 years passed. So that would be 16.
She about your size. She can still
Yes,
do
sir.
it. She a little bit older. She a year older than Trucy.
Could I add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime! What? Let me roar! How did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And, as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night!
Why her mask this was like that? What is the meaning of this, Lemiror? Please explain.
Mirror?
She says English is quite difficult.
That trick's not going to work here.
Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer truly. But you have missed one important fact.
She's trying to play crazy now, look.
What now?
In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment.
What?
Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak.
Is she really saying all that?
What's she talking about, Apollo?
Right when the incident occurred. Ah! Is she talking about that?
Lady, you good with the read, man. You sound like just like the anime characters. I told him.
I'm bad, actually. I'm garbage.
Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup.
Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold, so cold. Witness.
Is that what the witness said?
That's what she said. That's what she said.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. The witness is Siren.
They're gonna replay the same thing 50 times.
Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Yikes! Emma? What was that? Who's there?
What's wrong?
Emma, did you see anyone just now?
Huh? No.
Could have promised I heard a door closed.
I looked into the room, just a glance, mind you.
So this is when your brooch dropped? That explains that.
It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it.
But that's ridiculous! You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch?
Your forehead.
Huh?
She has raised the possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence.
So she looked in at the crime scene. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice.
Your forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Ugh!
I closed the door immediately. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony.
That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Leroy, you did look into that room though, right?
Yes.
Testify as to what you saw.
Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses. When my performance was can't talk. When my performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment.
What did you see in that brief glimpse?
I had only opened the door slightly when I heard that horrible voice. And shut the door?
I've always wondered there, forehead. Does that voice of yours lack a volume knob?
It's my court of steel, man! Just back off!
I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latouche's body, huh?
Go back. Wait, no, go back to that statement.
Which statement?
This one. Now proceed!
Hold on.
Alright, we're gonna look like how Granddaddy Toku wanna look at Emma.
I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latouche. What are we looking at for?
Looking for something.
It's not, made me push it down.
You wasn't playing the game.
What are you looking for?
Don't go down there.
Her eyes?
Looking for something.
I don't see anything.
I can tell you. If you
Her
want.
mouth?
Want me to tell you?
What?
It's her neck.
What about her neck?
I think you missed it actually. Wait, here again.
I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latuse's body. What about it?
Gotcha!
I think you did it wrong.
You may have seen the world, but I've seen your heart.
Let me see. What y'all see?
She gulps when she talks. That's basically what I'm telling you. It's on one of them statements.
I do not understand what it is you're saying. Perhaps this is a joke in your culture. She doesn't seem very flustered to me, Apollo.
Maybe I got that one wrong. You have to look harder. I'll find that weak spot.
She swallowed during her testimony. I don't even see it.
Cause you blind!
Which statement was it? Hold on.
Yeah, this one.
I don't see her swallowing.
Go back. Perceive it again. No, that was the right statement. X. Then go down to the neck.
Okay.
Gotcha!
I see it now.
How dare you swallow in a court of law? The late Mr. Latuse's body, you say?
Yes.
You know something more about Mr. Latuse's death than you are saying.
Pause, kid, I'm sorry.
You know something more about Mr. Latuse's death than you are saying.
What?
I could see you trying not to remember. But the effort made you swallow. You can't trick my eyes.
It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot?
One moment, Lemiror.
Yes.
What was it that you just said?
Why did Mr. Oh, that's you.
Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot?
Yes.
She was hiding something. I knew it. Lemiror, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony.
How could that be?
Take this. Lemiror contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. It's this gun. I'm tired of
This is this gun.
Let me see.
I'm gonna be honest. I was reading the words, but I didn't know what he was saying.
How did she know he was shot?
Like, what even is the question? I forgot.
Let me see. What was the history?
You can go up. Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot? Okay.
She didn't know. She said she didn't know the details.
Okay. So. Oh wait, she didn't know the details. What did we get the day of the crime?
What, her autograph?
No, we nobody outside of us could know.
She said earlier she didn't know anything, just that they had died. How did she know he was shot?
Yeah, and Mr. Gavin gave us that little paper. Go back.
Right here.
Yeah.
I guess right here.
Tell me, Lemiror,
Thank you, Granddaddy Otaku.
how did you know he had been shot?
Eh? Well,
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court. No one told me anything about the incident.
Ah.
Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known?
She sounds like a cat now. I'll have you in jail if I be a lawyer. Let me roar. You aren't hiding something from this court, I hope.
Oh, you should be a scientific investigator so you can be with Emma.
I'll probably be a good prosecutor.
A sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
Now I remember. Please allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something. I know it. Even the victim said so.
I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouche had been shot.
Only a glimpse. You knew there were bullet holes?
Yes, I recognized them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before, you know.
You have traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country.
I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days. That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lemiror someday.
I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know.
Maybe I should go on the course of Steel Torch Stew.
And I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's room and told to wait there. Well, let me see.
Yep, she saw bullet holes in the walls. There's nothing strange with that. Okay, let's
She
wrap this
couldn't
up.
see it because they were on the wall, and she said she just.
Yeah, she couldn't have seen it.
Let me see. Where the diagram at? She said she just glimpsed in the room. A new that never ended excuses. So she glimpsed in and looked at the wall.
Yep, she glimpsed in and she looked at the wall.
Turtleneck.
And then she killed him and then she jumped out the window, but nobody saw that part.
Lemiror, they call you the siren of the ballet. But fibs are hardly becoming of such a creature.
Put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Such put downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character job.
Come on, can I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lemiror, you looked in from the door for just a moment. Correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were on the wall the door is on.
Hey,
You see, assuming you merely glanced into that room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes.
yuck. Lemiror? Yes. I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. And I must tell you what it is, what I saw. Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, I mean. And I'm certain it will begin on the news in Bulgaria. You understand your reputation is at stake? It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing.
And she hiding something.
But you knew how Mr. Latouche died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lemiror.
Very well. Lemiror, please continue your testimony. Very well, I shall. Witness testimony. What I saw too. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. No, she didn't.
It's a little mirror. It's a little window. It's a little window. The window was closed. I saw a record.
Now she by the window now. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Makai. It was a grown person. I know it was. So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Air Forehead.
Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination.
What kind of check? This is a family-friendly channel, good sir.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Luminaire. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong.
She's not telling the truth. She's hiding something. Cross-examination. What I saw too. I was on my way from the backstage to the backstage exit.
So you were heading towards the dressing room?
We already did this, didn't we? Yes.
So this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. About the same time Emma and I heard those shots.
I was on my way back. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it.
What exactly is something like a little window?
Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes?
You need not worry, Lemiror. Your choice of words is impeccable. There's a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window in the wall.
I saw the crime from there.
I thought Nintendo announced the Wind Waker remake because this stupid thing was a fan project.
Oh my goodness. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
You were certain you heard those 2 shots fired?
Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot.
And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradiction so far.
It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do. But it wasn't Makai.
It wasn't Makai who shot? Are you sure?
Yes, quite certain.
It amuses me that you would question her testimony. It is testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object?
Yeah, Apollo, what were you thinking?
Trucy, let's just listen to what Lemiror has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure?
Yes, of course. You see, it was a grown person. I know it was.
A grown person? That's a little vague.
I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know. Certainly, you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female. It was a man, a young man. And you're sure of that? Yes, his voice was quite clear.
Voice?
Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter. As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard a voice. Wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known. Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man? Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Mackay. Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony? It's pretty good.
It's contradictory.
What you mean? Why you say that?
Because it is. Also, because I did it and I don't want people to know.
Okay, let's go what he says.
It pains me to say this. There's something about Lemiro's testimony that rings false.
Bravo, Air Forehead. You're colder than I thought.
I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime.
But that means Lemuroy, it has to be fibbing.
I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting.
That's all she doing.
It's as Air Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradiction with her testimony.
What next? What's he talking about?
Lemiroy, I understand why you would want to protect Makai. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballet. Fibs do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean? Apollo, what's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that?
I recall the stay of the crime scene quite well.
To stay of the room?
Yes, when the murder took place. That window was closed.
I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
What? But I'm sure.
Lemiroy, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
Objection!
But she's the only eyewitness we have!
Objection!
So you say. And the victim named her, the siren, as the witness? That's right! That's what Mr. Latouche...
We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this.
Air Judge!
Yes?
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lemiroy can testify...
Then we don't have a chance of proving Makai's innocence. The cross-examination is over, Prosecutor Gavin. You may continue making your case.
Thank you.
What is that? Thank you. Thank you.
Now where were we? Ah yes, I'd like to hear from Fallen Detective again.
Objection!
Wait! Let me hear Lemiroy's testimony one last time!
But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand. I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
Last, back to the real trial. Ready, your forehead?
Ugh, I hope I didn't just miss my only chance.
Fallen detective, how far have we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted?
Don't ask me.
I just like saying the same thing twice. I never repeat a song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Guy. I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latusa's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling. Oh yes, there was only one door in the room, and the witness you was standing in front of it. That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time. You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant.
Virtuoso performance! I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances? Again?
Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Makai? That was bizarre.
She's right. Why did Mr. Latusa's body disappear from the room?
Right, if that body couldn't have got in that vent, could it?
He doing the Family Guy, Peter Griffin death pose.
And ended up on the top of that stage tower. Holding a guitar, no less.
Perceptive observation there, Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you worked in this job long enough. You get a nose for things. The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good. Fallen detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved?
And how does that lead us to the killer?
Witness testimony. The missing body. I believe Makai stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lemuro's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, and Makai practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant.
Lemuro's song?
Yes, the guitar Serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not?
It's code?
All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held onto so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latusa's life was taken away by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad. It's like a story out of some fairy tale.
I admit, I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were.
Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that. I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing?
It's a wild world out there, Judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the cross-examination.
I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Oh!
Cross-examination. The missing body. I believe Makai stole the body because of some lyrics.
Hold it!
Who would steal a body just to match some lyrics?
I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence.
It is as Fallen Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse, if you would, Fallen Detective.
What? You want me to sing it?
You are the witness, Ja, or did you want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial.
Fine, fine.
Come on, sing it. Come on. You gotta sing it. You gotta sing it.
They got to sing again?
Yeah, come on, sing it.
She gonna sound terrible. This her. Look,
Yeah.
this a song.
This not the song.
Let's
This
look
not the
at
song
the
yet.
first part of the lyrics, shall we?
Good.
When you stole my elevator keys, my heart held on too so tight.
Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped keyring was stolen that morning.
I said I was gonna mail you a mic, Game Queen 81. Next, we go to the right page of the lyric sheet, where we find burning in my heart, burn my love away, all away.
No.
As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames. Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away, all away. Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet.
Bravo, foreign detective. You're seeing, it's not bad. Now, for the finale.
I wouldn't say so, look. Anyway. Guitar, up together to the sky.
As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latus was found with a guitar high in the sky over the stage. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived.
He's right, scientifically speaking.
What would Walkie have said? That concert was whack.
It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter. not no encore.
Encore! Go back, press her again on that same statement. Come
No,
on.
thank you. No, thank you. He moved the body to match Lemuroy's song. Did we do this already?
Nope.
Hold it!
Does the prosecution have any idea why I do all this?
You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason.
A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he touched my guitar. Unforgivable acts, even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none.
The diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this on just a whim.
Fallen detective, I take offense at that description.
Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say? Yes, the crime was planned for sure. The guitar seemed like a clue. Perhaps the killer is a guitarist.
Astute observation.
That could be. Who else? That other man who's playing the guitar? How many guitarists did they have? I feel Apollo secretly plays guitar.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking.
No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim.
Hold it!
Except Apollo just.
But Mr. Latou spoke English. He may have had to come to this country before.
I looked into that, I assure you.
Oh,
The one that messed up. What you talking about, Game Queen 81? It was his first time in this country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own.
great.
You see,
Okay. I know what you're talking about now. I know what you're talking about. That we had to go in and find that missing cord.
no one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
It does seem difficult to imagine. Unless our famous prosecutor did it as publicity stunt.
What did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song?
Of course not. I'm quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music.
They're even in my textbooks at school.
And I'd never heard of them. What does that say about me?
I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up, Gimmer boy. And Makai practically left his signature at the scene.
Hold it!
What do you mean by a signature?
The bullet holes in the wall, of course.
The bullet holes?
Is that dude blind? Anyway. The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. That means what exactly? His dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult at most, almost impossible to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very. Assuming the shooter could properly him. I said him.
The shooter, he's him! He's him! He's him!
I can't even see tonight. Assuming the shooter could properly aim.
No! You can't be serious!
Makai, he can't see. That's why he missed. It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly.
That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, Ja. All the ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter? No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me.
That boy playing football, game clean, ate them shit up.
The justice! What do I do now? Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see! Oh? How so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver?
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why could it could dislocate their shoulder, Lord.
Exactly.
We need some water.
The defendant, Makai Tabaye, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely.
Oh, what's going on with your mic?
I think I had to record.
Is that
I think, is it good now? Yeah, I think it's good.
Well, say that line again.
The kickback alone would throw off his eye.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Aha! Take that, smug prosecution!
Apollo?
Huh? What?
That bit about Makai being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim, aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it?
Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Cripes! I really put my foot in it this time! But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, fallen detective.
The guitarist and the manager were in the secret, and the manager said he was moving to France. Hey, anything's possible. Yeah, well, the witness will add to her testimonies. The witness will add this to her testimony.
I just said 3 times.
Right, because I had to reread it because I think I missed the word. Right. From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind.
Hold it!
You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that.
I wouldn't call it proof per se.
Huh?
You've merely raised the possibility. Foreign detective has made a most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there is more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent.
Objection!
But wait! If he was blind, how would he have known about the air vent in the first place?
Ah, a very good point. Well, foreign detective, if you would care to explain.
He certainly seems sure of himself.
Recall the crime scene if you would. There was a step ladder below the air vent. How did this dude know it was a step ladder in there? If he's blind.
He felt it.
As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents.
I don't believe it.
Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Makai Tobaye. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of the step ladder.
But that's... Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider what that stepladder was doing there.
Looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a step ladder.
Well, their forehead.
It's going on for a long time.
Out of ammunition, perhaps.
I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood.
Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need. We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place.
Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of their central points.
Right. They said they tried to claim that they were told about a step, I guess, maintenance that day, and he should have known something was going on.
He felt it using the force.
Well, he just went
Do I
around
have
the
any
room
evidence that can
stealing
prove
things.
that though?
Do I have any evidence that can prove that enough? You said, I said, oh Lord. I said enough. Do we have evidence?
I think we do.
This right here?
If you want it.
If you want.
Present evidence.
Fine. I accept the prosecution's challenge.
As I knew you would, Air Forehead.
What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Makai, who's blind, did it.
The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see.
This is my attorney's badge. I'm turning it in because I did it. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I guess I'll have to guess on this one.
You can guess it's the worst lawyer.
This is that evidence!
The photograph of the crime scene?
I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. But this is no time to think twice. Time to press on! Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There's something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point.
Then perhaps you'd best show us this something.
Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, Ja.
Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction at the scene of the crime.
It took me forever to figure out.
Cause this looks like some words. And he had some blood on his finger.
Let me see. You're on the right track.
So that the person wasn't blind.
Yeah.
The keys? I don't know.
No.
It's this right here, is it?
Yeah.
Take that!
The contradiction is right here.
The smeared bloodstains. I thought it was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I have seen many times in this court. It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha, I get it. At least I think I get it.
Get what, Frolin?
When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in it but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name? It's certainly a logical conclusion. But I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I.
No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out?
What's your point?
What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name?
Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait. Once he saw what it was...
But what did you just testify about the shooter?
Said they were blind.
Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that! The killer had to have been able to see! Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant Makai Tabaye is blind? He couldn't have been the shooter.
He couldn't have been the shooter.
Possible! Order. The prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means. I mean, at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter couldn't see. Yet up until now,
It seems they owe the court an apology.
huh?
The Gaviners are a band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred. During our concert, apparently. During our concert. Apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner.
I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't, and he's about to tell us.
I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the fallen detective. If I may.
What?
Tell me, why do you think that Makai Tabaye is blind?
Huh?
What did he say?
What are you saying? Of course he's blind.
Of course.
He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lumiere lead him around by the hand all the time?
No way.
I have a report here on the defendant, Makai Tabaye. According to this, Makai Tabaye can see perfectly well.
What?
His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well.
Objection!
But you said...
What did I say exactly? Her forehead. Not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was fallen detective.
But that...
A significant fact, yes. Consider Makai Tobias, and he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this.
But what about the bullet holes in the wall?
Yes, the bullet holes. I believe their forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words.
Ah!
How's that? I'm afraid your objection is just flown off for brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, your forehead.
He look like something in Dr. Seuss's cartoons when he look like that.
The suits. Red fish, blue fish.
I knew you didn't have what it took.
You jerk. Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize.
Oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologize.
He's angered the truthy now. Look out.
If we can please end the bickering now. Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me. But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Ugh, don't say that.
Ha.
Aha, what?
This blood stain. This criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
You might be able to find out what was really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right. With this. It's called luminol. Luminol. That's what she used in that other trial. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Yes. We have done those tests yet?
No, have we done this test?
Ha, as if I'm going to tell you.
The blood stains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in the court now.
Right, go for it, Apollo.
Huh? I have to do the test?
You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple.
A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it.
Why is the defense attorney doing this?
Right, ready. It's easy as pie. Just press A to spray in the area. Here, give it a try.
The eyes of the entire court are focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Ugh. Let's do this.
You gotta be a detective. You gotta do this investigation.
Wow, it really works.
This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name? Maybe it is if the killer was a robot.
Aha! I have it. So what is it?
I thought those letters, IPXX, looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number.
Interpol? You mean the Internal Police Agency?
Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number?
Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that?
Good show, fallen detective. Rock on.
Hey.
Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand.
You remember what's his name? Chris Tucker in the Fifth Element, how his hair was.
Yeah, sir. Darian, you heard what we need? Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27.
I mean.
I mean,
I'm not sure what to think of all of this. The prosecution's case is out airtight, or so it seems. Yet, if this number is really that of an Interpol agent... Oh, wait, I know. What if Mikatabaye's really an undercover Interpol agent?
that would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did Latouche know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we wait Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Makai Tabaye. What are you talking about? Foreign detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could in fact see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
You had me until that last bit.
Does this not raise another straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Makai pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. You think, Air Forehead. Huh? Me? Makai Tabaye pretended he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think, perhaps, this is all some kind of game? Know that the moment I heard that report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Makai Tabaye pretended to be blind. But it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness? Well, because the same reason why she has to
Pretend she cannot
sing. I mean, not
Speak
cannot
English.
sing, can't speak
It's the
English.
same reason she has to speak in Animal Crossing. She comes from the islands. She came from Tom Nook.
Let me see. Sightseeing mystique. I don't know. Can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign?
Yeah, you was actually right.
Fiend. He a fiend, y'all. He fiend.
Be a fiend. Yeah, I was saying feign, but you was right about the thing.
I knew I was right.
Yeah, I'm not talking about feign or fiend. I'm talking about the evidence.
This.
Makai had no reason to pretend he couldn't see. Which means, no, it couldn't be. Good show, Air Forehead. It seems you've thought of something. Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my clues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see.
Take that!
That is Lemonor. Whatever.
Lemire Orr and Makai Tabaye. Recall their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country.
Lemonor and her pianist. They would always walk together. She's leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him.
That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times?
Yet, we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Makai could see! Why'd they have to keep up this act the whole time?
Well, was it a part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Makai did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing.
Really?
Really? It was the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Le Miroir!
What's this? So you mean to say that Le Miroir she's...
Yes, Your Honor. Le Miroir is blind.
What? Order. This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin.
Is it now?
Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it as not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct.
But that makes no sense. Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask Le Miroir herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room.
Paulo, what does this mean for our case?
Don't ask me! I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now.
Bailiff, bring you in, Le Miroir. I can never pronounce her name.
Le Miroir, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way. And yet I must.
Please, do not be concerned on my behalf.
Those eyes! She really can't see? Really?
And it's true. How funny is that a tiny field born in the Burgundian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world. So you are? Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Le Miroir. No, to that, my memories began in darkness. The word light has no meaning for Le Miroir. I see.
You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, Air Forehead. Huh? What was that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses.
Her hearing is heightened. Yeah, it should be.
Now, Le Miroir, I must ask you to stand once more. You testified to the court about your eyes.
Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor? Yes, of course. Though I admit, I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a little bit lost here, Your Honor.
Witness testimony. This case is going long.
This is the last one.
Le Miroir's eyes. I have no memory of the light I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others. But this is a murder trial. I apologize. I was part of my contract. You see, I was to keep my blindness a secret no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would.
She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing.
Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I'd like to cross-examine.
But what is there left to ask?
There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well, the defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness.
Okay, there was only one point that bothered me. Just let me ask about that, and I'll be happy.
Cross-examination. Luminora's eyes.
If you press wrong, the game ends, and it's a game over.
I have no memory of this light. I debuted in the world of darkness. Is she swallowing right here? Let me see.
Apollo gets shot if you get this wrong, by the way. He gets shot. Nobody can explain why. He just gets shot. And the game just ends. You can't open it anymore.
She got her eyes closed on that one.
Your Honor, the defendant moved her finger a little weirdly. I think she's guilty.
No, Apollo, that sounds sound. I lock her up. Get the blind boy out here. He's not guilty.
Your Honor, the defendant's wrinkle on the corner of her forehead
I don't
kinda
see
jiggled.
nothing. What else what to
Fifth
do?
statement, press.
Hmm?
Fifth statement, press.
This one?
Yes.
Hold it!
When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche?
Of course, he was my manager.
So he knew. And that's what's been bugging me.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
I believe I know what it is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo?
Yes, I was. He's alive!
I did this about 3 times.
Yeah. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Cold, so cold. Witness. You cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren. Mr. Latouche told me to act the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind.
I don't know.
Tusk. What did I just say? You need to learn and think for yourself. Meaning what? There's no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more.
The witness, Siren? We heard them many times along with a little play acted by our defense. Whatever grade created was.
Siren, boy, what you think? What you think? Siren?
Look, on his defense, he is an old man. Look.
I remember them well myself. That statement is not what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Before? What came before that? Ah! That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
Or the killer. I see.
Too bad the defense did not. Well, forehead. Try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. Ugh.
Order.
Recall Miroir's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. The She couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that.
That is not the most important point here.
Hmm?
The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness?
Ugh!
How she see the window is she blind? Anyway, let me show. But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots and the man's voice.
Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We have already run a simulation, of course.
If it was so clear, if I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant. Your Honor? What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here? We have the results back from the investigation. The investigation?
Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us.
Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination afterwards. Detective Crescent, your report, please.
You asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing.
Quick work as always, Darian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Roman Latouche.
What?
An undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation.
So, when he wrote those letters,
He was trying to tell us his own identity. The cautious killer tried to wipe them away.
Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent? So him being Luminaire, I said Luminaires.
Luminaires! Luminaires! Where are you getting the end? Where's the end? Where's the end at?
Luminaires manager?
was just a cover? Most likely.
There's one other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that 45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Latouche. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms. And the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver.
So the victim was an Interpol agent or an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything.
Got to tie in somehow, you think?
Yeah, somehow.
Thanks for looking into this for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
No problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out.
Wait. Luminaire? Is something the matter? That voice just now.
Darian?
Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I am sure of it. It was him?
You aren't saying!
That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darian.
Is this some kind of joke? What? No way.
Look, somebody must have been playing his part.
The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state that the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day that you get an accusation like that one. The mirror, fingering Darian Crescent. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Lemiror heard? Things were changing fast. Frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it.
Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo. Yeah, What I was just saying. Somebody else must was playing his part because he missed that cue, right? You know he missed the cue?
That's an interesting possibility.
Hey. What you think, ain't Queen 81? That was interesting. That was an interesting turn of
I
events.
still think it was pro fake. It all matches up.
Anyway, but yeah, I didn't know it was gonna go that long. It's 2 hours almost. Well, I'll let you all get going to y'all Friday evening. Well, it's almost over now. Okay, Queen 81 and Yeety in the chat, Granddaddy Otaku and Dave Stanfield. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And everyone else that's watching, and if you're watching and you're not subscribed yet, I'd appreciate you should go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, if you don't mind hitting that like button for me. Great stream. Thank you, Game Queen 81. I appreciate it. Look, my voice is going crazy, y'all, but I hope y'all enjoyed that singing. Anyway, I will talk to you all on the next one. You all take care and good night.